friends, how are you doing? So today I'm going to share 3 looks using the new Abh and Norvina palette. She came out with these colorful beauty and I'm all for it. Are you spring ready? I think this palette is. So I'm going to be doing 3 looks and I'm going to finish up with the one that I'm wearing right now, which is more of the neutral one. And yeah, if this is your first time here, my name is Gigi. Thank you so much for getting on my video. I hope you stay and take a second and click that red subscribe button below for more. And without further ado, let's start. Alrighty friends, so let's get started. If you're new here, then you don't know, but I'm a neutral girl, so these colors are really out of my comfort zone. And I don't know, for some reason it just really called my name. I felt like I needed to have it. As soon as I saw it released, I said, you know, I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna put myself out there and really use these colors because they look so pretty. This palette retails for 78 Canadian dollars on the Sephora website, and it is meant to be a limited edition palette. So now this is volume 4. She's come up with 4 of these ones. I've tried her number 1, but I already mentioned this in a Will I Buy a video when I was talking about this guy, and it is that it is a big palette, and at the time I didn't have really good storage space for my makeup, so I had to give it away because I didn't have space. I thought it was too bulky, too big, and the colors were too out there. Like volume 1 is really like deep and really out there. When I saw the color story of this guy, I thought, you know what, I think I can make it work. I think I need a really colorful palette in my life, a good one. I know her volume 1 was great. Pigmentation, everything was there. Swatches were beautiful. I really liked the palette. So let me just show you an overview of the palette and some swatches right now. Hey friends, I cannot believe I forgot to mention how similar this palette is to the original Norvina palette. So you're gonna see pictures up here. I'm gonna post the person that had them on a video below. She did a full review on the palette, so I'll link her channel below. But you can see there are 6 shades that look super similar. I don't know about the formula, but the colors are pretty much spot on. So I just wanted to point that out, that if you already have the Norvina Abh palette, I don't think you'll need this one because there is already like 6 super similar shades. So I wanted to make sure I'll tell you that. On Sephora's website, this palette is described as a professional grade artistry palette that features high performance eyeshadows and pigments with a spring inspired color story. The ingredients are all vegan and cruelty free. It is meant to be a limited edition pro palette Norvina collection. This eyeshadow contains 7 regular eyeshadow formulas, 2 pressed glitter formulas, and 16 pressed pigments formula. A1 is an eyeshadow which is described as a warm metallic silver. A2 is a lavender with a duochrome shift pressed pigment. A3 is a metallic magenta pressed pigment. A4 is described as a matte peachy taupe. And A5 is a multi-dimensional rosy metallic pink. B1 is described as a metallic golden sand. B2 is a matte movie pink pressed pigment. B3 is a matte light cinnamon pressed pigment. B4 is a multi-dimensional metallic deep rose. B5 is a matte gray with a pink undertone pressed pigment. C1 is described as a frosty metallic baby pink pressed pigment. C2 is a matte electric pink pressed pigment. C3 blue with a duochrome purple shift pressed pigment. C4 is a matte lavender pressed pigment. C5 is a matte red pink pressed pigment. D1 is described as a matte peachy base pressed pigment. D2 is a matte electric yellow pressed pigment. D3 is a dazzling metallic beige amber. D4 is a pink with a duochrome magenta shift pressed pigment. D5 is a matte deep cinnamon. Last row, E1 matte carnation pink pressed pigment. E2 is a multi-dimensional gold sea foam green pressed glitter. E2 is a multi-dimensional gold sea foam green pressed glitter. E3 is a multi-dimensional mauve pink pressed glitter. E4 is a matte deep berry pressed pigment. And E5 is a matte hot pink pressed pigment. Alright, you guys, so now you've seen the swatches, you've seen an overview of the palette. Now I want to jump into the looks. So let's jump into look number 1 and 2, and then we do this final one. I'm going to start with a Refer 15, and I'm going to put B2 in my outer V. And I'm just gonna bring whatever is left in the brush. I'm gonna place A4 with a little bit of a base before I go into the shimmer. Now wet my brush. I'm gonna put A5 all over my lid. And B3. I'm gonna do D5 in my lower lash. I'm gonna take B1 for my inner corners. Right, that's it for this eye. I'm gonna finish off with liner and some mascara, and then we move on to the other eye. This is number 1. Let's move on to eye number 2. I'm gonna take D5 in my outer V. And I'm gonna blend D1 over. I'm gonna take C1 to my innermost part. I'm gonna cut my crease for this one so that we can pack on one of the shimmers all over our lid. I'm gonna do a full cut crease. And I'm gonna apply A2 all over my lid. I'm gonna wet my brush. I'm gonna do A3 for my lower lash line. Finish up the eye with eyeliner, mascara, and yeah, I'll be back. Alright, final look. I'm gonna do B5 on my outer V. Then I'm gonna go A4 to bring that to my inner corner. All over my lid, I'm gonna put C4. And I don't know why I feel like I want to use my fingers, so I'm just gonna do that, whatever the heart desires, and then I'll blend it with a brush. Oh, this shade I wanted to use so bad. Oh, so pretty. Okay. So pretty. I love it. I'm gonna mix B5 and the B5 and A4, and I'm gonna smoke my lower lash. I'm gonna take D2 for my inner corner. Alright, lashes, mascara, and I'll be back. Alright friends, so now you've seen swatches, you've seen looks, you've seen everything. Let's talk my thoughts on the palette. So of course, this is not your everyday palette. If you're here, it's because you like color and you're interested in the review, you know, of a colorful palette. This is really colorful. When I look at the palette, I get a little bit overwhelmed, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not really a makeup artist, I'm just a makeup enthusiastic. So if you're like me, you may feel a little bit like, oh my god, what do I do? Where do I go? Which do I mix with what? The neutrals are just pretty much just these colors here, and maybe another or two, like if you want to go really warm, and this one is like a cooler tone brown. But other than that, all the colors are super out there. If you couldn't tell, the two first looks were, even though they were a little bit really out of my comfort zone, I kept them, you know, in the more wine color story and the more brown color story. Is because that's just the neutral in me, that's where I got pulled. So even though I didn't really film this look that I'm going to talk about, I did use the fuchsia and I did use this color B1 and C1, and I have to tell you that those two colors were super disappointing. They were more of a topper kind of shade. I don't know, it's just like they don't really have a lot of pigment to them. They're just, you know, just like, look at C1. C1 was worse than B1. So I did like a fuchsia all over, and then I try to go with those two in my lid, and I had to like really build them up. So I wanted to share that those two shades are a little bit like meh. Other than that, all the colors that I worked with, I really liked. I felt like the mattes blended so nicely. D5 was beautiful. It just blended all by itself. B5, which I used in my last look, I loved this cool tone brown. I'm so into it, and mixed with this purple, I think it looks so pretty. I love it. C4, which is the lavender shade that I have all over my lid, I did have to go in and build it up with my finger. I tried the brush, and then it just kept, you know, just blending away, because it's one of those pastel, you know, kind of shades. So they're not super pigmented, and you have to like, don't blend too much. You pretty much have to like pack them on. So that's something that you need to keep in mind with those pastel shades. Just pack those suckers on if you want to get like full pigment, and don't be blending, because they blend to nothing. That same thing happened with this one, D2, which I don't even know if you can see, but I have that on my inner corners, and I had to like build, and every time I try to blend, it just disappeared. So this shade was a little bit disappointing, because it is the standard of the palette. If you look at the palette, you're really looking to this lime green, aren't you? So that yellow, the limey kind of yellow, is super nice to look at, but it's not super pigmented. It doesn't transfer as well. Oh, it actually already disappeared. So I don't even have it there anymore. Wow, that's so weird. I haven't even touched my eyes, and it's gone. I promise you guys, I put that in my inner corners. Let's try that live. So I did this, really patting this guy on. Wow, that's so weird. And if you go to blend it, it just goes away. Oh my god, I can't believe I was talking all the video without my yellow inner corners. Why didn't you tell me? So I guess if you do want this yellow to pop and stay, you're gonna have to put a base, you know, like look at that, it's so pretty. So I didn't like D2, I didn't like B1 and C1. Other than that, I really like the palette. Alright friends, that's it. I really enjoyed working with the palette, other than few, you know, that shades, which it always happens with palettes, period. Even with the best of the best, I always get that shade or two that you don't really use or you don't really like, and it is whatever. I really like it. I really like this, you know, the color story of the palette. I think it's super fun. I would appreciate if they kind of make them in a way that it makes a little bit more sense. You know how that Natasha Denona show do, like, you know, you can do looks going down or going across or like in quads. I would love to see something like that in here, because I would appreciate if whenever they're putting together their palettes, they kind of like put them so that it makes sense for, you know, beginners like, you know, myself. All right, friends, and that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this palette? Do you like it? What do you think of the color story? Are you planning to pick it up? Did you pick it up? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know your opinions. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my video, and don't forget to click that red subscribe button below for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.